Okay. Commissioner, I'm going to disclose something in this commission that I initially chose not to. You know, we don't like to air our dirty laundry. I told you I was moved to commercial crime from 2018 to 2019 for 1 year. There were allegations against me. I was moved there till the investigation was finalized. It was over a year before I got back to the Sanheb unit. And when I got back there, part of my problems of why I landed up in commercial crime was due to the fact that certain Sanheb members and I were not seeing eye to eye, and allegations were made. I know some were fabricated. Not I know. They were fabricated against me because it was unfounded. So when I got back to organized crime, and when this opportunity came up, most of those Sanheb members that were available, I've since mended my bridges. It's water under the bridge now. Honestly, most of those guys there and I were not on good terms. The tension was still there. So I saw fit now to choose guys that I knew we were friends, there was no issue between us, to choose guys of that standing so that now we can now ride on this high horse to say, hey, we've done a nice drug bust, you know. It may sound silly, it may sound petty. I've disclosed this to, I think, the evidence leaders behind the scenes. I'm not sure whether it was Advocate Sello or Ngube. And I said I don't want to air dirty laundry. And that's the reason I made my choice of members of who I did choose. And I think the Commission knows that maybe my choice in the end is something that worked against me, right? So I'm saying I made it because of that, because I was not getting on very well with some of those guys that were available, and that's why I chose who I chose. And to those at the office who wondered why I chose those members, I've disclosed it to them, because exactly what you're saying, Commissioner. I knew it, they were. So
is Warrant Officer Mpangase, or was, because he's no longer there, the only Sanheb member that you got along with at the time?
No. Like I said, I'm sure Carl was on leave, right? But maybe there was one or two others, maybe one or two. But
yes, and why did you not pick them? Because they have experience. You're taking somebody who, on their own account, say, but this is not what I do every day. So you pick someone out of the environment of experience that you have. And it doesn't make sense unless you say, well, the only one I got along with was Mpangase, so I had to pick somebody else. And that's not what you're saying.
Yes. Commissioner, the role of any other member who I would have called was not that an in-depth role that you need to know drug investigations 100%.
Yeah, but it could have been a member who's pliable and who will tell a story that you tell. For example, you all say ORS and customs were there. It may well be. So it's not as if, don't proceed on the basis that it's common cause, that it wouldn't make a difference who you pick. An experienced member may well have told you, we cannot move these drugs from here at the harbor. So do not do it's of no consequence, because it is of consequence. So the answer of they would have played a minimal role, no, that's not a good answer. Give an answer, why did you not pick an experienced member in your team that you get along with? Yes. I'm prepared to accept maybe pettiness, excuses, you not picking Sanders or the most experienced members in the team. I accept that and I don't quarrel with that. But you got along with others who are on duty, who it is their everyday job to do operations like this. You go and pick a junior, by your description, a very junior person who, according to you, it doesn't matter that they are there. It's not as if they're going to play a critical role. You choose to do that. That does require an explanation, especially in an operation that goes so horribly wrong, where you come in from leave, you go away, you remain involved in the matter, you come back, bad decisions are made throughout in the handling of these exhibits until they are stolen. You have to have a better answer about why this person who's ignorant about these operations, why him? It's suspicious, give a better answer.
Okay. Also, Commissioner, I can't tell you 100% who was available, but it was that time of the morning where members are out on investigation. So if Pangase had suggested another name of a member who I didn't have any tension with, I would have chose them. There was no special reasoning behind my choosing of
You know, in your evidence, you have said to us when your commander speaks, I can't contradict them. That's what you've said, and that's how you've excused your conduct and failure to act. You say, well, my commander has made a decision, has told me we are going to Port-Shepstone, has not moved the drugs. That applies to you and Mpangase as well. You tell him, you don't ask him. You don't say, who's in the office? And then he gives you a list of names and then you pick from that. You actually name the person you want. So your answer has to be premised. The premise of your answer has to be, you made the choice. You told Mpangase who to approach. And on your view that you take about the authority of the words of your superior, of course he was going to follow your instruction, which is to find Sibia. So don't blame Mpangase for anything to do with this choice. It's all on you. And you have to give a satisfactory explanation on these facts. On another day, it may not matter, but we are dealing with an operation that went horribly wrong. And so you have to explain all your decisions and satisfactorily explain your decisions, including why Sibia, who has nothing to do with the kind of work that you do, which is narcotics.
Okay. Commissioner, may I answer it with a practical case scenario? I'll give you an example of another operation and members that were used where am I being, or is that me pointing fingers and you don't want to hear that? Can I give you just to show you how things work?
If it enhances your answer about Sibia, why you chose Sibia, by all means, but if it's just to relate another case and it doesn't enhance the quality of your answer, don't, because it is of no value whatsoever.
Fine, then I won't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. The one question I kept forgetting. On the 22nd of June, as you say, till the 29th, you were on leave, 2021. And you've had engagement with the commissioners about your continued involvement in the inquiry after the drugs were taken to Port-Shepstone DPCI offices, you recall?
Yes.
I want to understand firstly, I guess, how does it work in SAPS, so DPCI, KZN, when you are on leave, is no one appointed to act in your place?
There would have been a captain that was there.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, any challenges that Warrant Officer Mpangase experienced after he took over as an investigating officer, was it not appropriate to direct them to the person acting in your stead?
Yes, it would have been appropriate to do so.
And you seem to have allowed him not to do so, but to direct these queries to you and seek assistance from you. Was that appropriate?
I deemed it appropriate because I was there for the actual crime scene, but in the normal course of things, no, it would be prudent to let the acting commander take charge of that.
Indeed, because you are no longer responsible once somebody is appointed to act in your stead. You are supposed to wash your hands, quote unquote, of it. Otherwise, then you are interfering in their very acting appointment.
You know, Commissioner, I won't agree 100% with that. It happens all the time. You're on leave, you started a certain process, now you need to follow up. It's only you who can do it. So the leave doesn't really affect our managerial...
Can I stop you, because I think you might just create problems for yourself, and perhaps it's not necessary. I accept we are all tired now. I just want to put this proposition to you. The fact that it happens all the time doesn't make it right. Will you accept that?
I do.
Okay. I accept that it happens all the time in your case, in the DPCI, and maybe that is part of the problem. Nobody seems to comply with any applicable prescripts and protocols. So even acting appointments are affected and they're immediately undermined. That's what's coming across, and I don't know if that's the impression you want to create with the commissioners. That's what happens, but the impression that you are trying to create with the commissioners, that is quite in order.
No, I'm not trying to create
this. As an aside, I asked this question because I kept forgetting about it. I have another question more related to Warrant Officer Sander. But if I'd posed this one first, I would have once again forgotten my question about being on leave. Have you ever recommended Warrant Officer Sander for promotion?
I can't recall. No, I haven't.
No, are you sure?
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. I can't. If you may have something, I can't recall. There's nothing very special or that I would remember. I'm sure I recommended other members as well. I'm not sure in what context, so maybe you can.
I would expect you to have recommended other members. I think yesterday, at least the point you drove home is that you are a fairly small unit out in the DPCI KZN, right?
That's correct.
So if you have, and that unit hasn't grown much, you would know who you've recommended and who you haven't recommended. You wouldn't suggest you have recommended me out of 10 and you are the 10th in circumstances when you know you've never. It's not like you're recommending 100 people. So you know whether or not you recommended him.
I can't recall. It's different intakes, different phases of promotion, so I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
I'm referring to the 2021, November 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And he was seeking to be promoted to the rank of captain. And you, the whole other document, and you signed and supported him with the comment that the member is suitable for promotion, signed by you on 17 November 2021. No recollection.
Okay, yes, now I recall. That's a part a commander recommends his member whether they're suitable or not for promotion. Yes, I
yes.
Did. Yes.
So, and he wasn't promoted?
Evidently so.
Do you know why?
I can't say why.
Okay. Did you ever assist him to get promoted to other positions, perhaps, or?
When you say assist him, Commissioner?
However, whether to establish why he wasn't promoted and if it's a training issue to ensure that he receives an appropriate training.
Commissioner, what I can say, I've never sat on a panel where he has appeared before me on a promotion
I'm not
panel.
asking as a panel member, I'm asking as somebody who reports to you,
yes,
who sought your support, and you gave that support, and they are unsuccessful in that endeavor.
Yes.
What, you bury it there, you don't even interest yourself to find out why?
It's improper to now find out from a selection panel. It's not done. It's now that you are interfering.
You know that's not what I'm talking about. You find out from the person who sought support from you what went wrong. Was it the level of experience? You have that engagement and you say, we will try again. I never sent you to go ask the panel anything. Why would you be going there?
That's why I'm saying that the most I can do is recommend him and say that he's suitable for promotion. After that, if I'm not on a panel, it's out of my hands, Commissioner.
Oh, I thought you would be recommending him for promotion because it would enhance the capacity of your team. No, not necessarily. He was reporting to you at the time?
Yes, but I'm not sure where the promotion he applied for was, Commissioner. So,
I'll leave it there.
Yes.
Chair and Commissioners, those are my questions. Thank you.
Yes. Colonel, just to clarify some aspects of your earlier evidence that I might have missed as you explained them. And it's on different topics. There are not more than 4. The first is when you got to Isipingo police station,
yes,
you say something about the availability of evidence bags when you were there. Can you just repeat what it is that you're saying about the availability? What happened when you were there about the availability of bags?
Warrant Officer Perumal did not have the required size bags.
Okay.
That I can distinctly remember. He had no bags.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there was nothing?
There was no bags.
Okay. Did you consider to phone, because I'm assuming you accept that these exhibits, soonest possible, they have to be bagged in evidence bags.
Yes.
You are at a police station where you are entering them into SAP, into the SAP 13. Did you not consider to phone other stations and inquire if they have evidence bags so that you can do this properly?
I did consider that. There's no real go-to person. You phone a station, then he'll refer you to an exhibit clerk. But just to let you know, we have done that before, Commissioner.
No, I'm asking about this operation.
Yes, no,
you are at Isipingo, because in your statement you don't say that you called around to find out if anyone has got these bags. We earlier looked at the instruction which says you go to the police station and this is what you do. So I'm asking my question in that context, that you are at a police station, you tell us that there were no evidence bags. There is a debate, there is a different version from Warrant Officer Perumal that this never even came up. But I'm happy for purpose of our discussion to go with your version, which is you asked him and he said he didn't have bags. The question is, well, to do things properly at that point, because now you are not rushing, you are in the precinct of a police station, you haven't said there was a risk of anything, we need to do this quickly. Why did you not phone around to request the right size evidence bags so that they are brought to you, or you be told we don't have? Why did you not do that?
I can't answer that, but maybe this will answer it a little. I was of the understanding with Pangase that when they get to Port Shepstone, the bagging can be done there, because by that time it was already entered. Yes, I did not make the decision. I've had experiences where guys run around and get 3 bags and 2 bags and 5 bags. So based on that, I didn't want to waste time. I said, okay, we've crossed that bridge now. We didn't put it in bags. We here at Isipingo, they don't have bags. They don't have space. So now my next step, okay, the brigadier has chosen Port Shepstone, and I discussed with Pangas, when you get to Port Shepstone, make sure you put it in bags, enter it in a 13 at Port Shepstone station.
You did that well knowing and understanding that you should be asking, you should be begging them at Isipingo.
Yes,
before they are put onto anyone's vehicle and transported to Port Shepstone. You knew that you have to get evidence bags and bag them there at Isipingo as a matter of rule or law or regulation or instruction. They had to be bagged there.
Yes, that's correct.
You knew that.
But with no bags, that is why I took that decision.
We know there were no bags. We know that for a fact. So I'm not engaging about were they ever bagged or not. We know they were not bagged. So my discussion with you is different. It is about why did you not phone around? I think you explained earlier why it is important that they are bagged, right? You have explained the importance of it. And I'm asking you, important as it is, essential in fact as it is, why do you not phone around? Because you're not rushing anywhere at that point. There is no risk of attack. All the things that you said about moving from the depot, they are non-existent now that you are at Isipingo. So you have, if you like, the luxury of time to phone around and hopefully get the bags and do it properly. You did not do that.
I did not.
You did not do that.
I didn't do it. It's time-consuming as well.
Yeah, but you can't. No, I think it's worse. I think stop there. Do not say it's time-consuming, because it gets worse with that explanation. You did not. You did not call around.
I did not.
Okay, and you accept you should have. National instruction requires you to bag these things there. You accept you should have found out if you can get the bags elsewhere before you transported them unbagged.
Yes, I concede.
Okay. In your relating to that, in your statement, and here I want to understand the process. You arrived at Isipingo police station. You went into the police station to find the exhibit clerk. I think that's what you say. In your statement, you also say that when you got there, the members started offloading while you went in to find the exhibit clerk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a window where you lost sight of these exhibits that are not bagged, that are not yet in an SAP 13. You lost sight of them at some point. There's a window, there has to be.
Yes, there was.
They started unloading them.
Yes.
You went inside.
Yes.
Right. So in that period, you did not have sight.
No, I did not.
So you wouldn't know if any of the exhibits may have been tampered with in that period. Or would you? And if you say, I would know, explain why you would know.
I wouldn't say I would have known exactly, but every operation you have to have some element of trust, Commissioner. There will be, at not every point in time, you can have your eyes on exhibits. So there is.
I'm talking about this operation, and I'm going to say to you, if LCRC had been on the scene,
Yes.
there would have been eyes on that, right? While you go in, you would have waited. You should have waited. I want to suggest to you that you should not, as the leader of that operation, you should not have lost sight of these exhibits. And the proposition I'm making to you, and it has to be, you have to say, yes, I'm correct when I say to you, in the time that you left to go and find the exhibit clerk, anything could have happened with those exhibits. You wouldn't know.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay. So if Warrant Officer Sibia took a break, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know, no.
Yes, thank you. And then you also say in your statement, and you can correct me, and we are still at Isipingo. You also say we did the counting, so that you get the clerk, and now you're counting. Were the ORS people, where are they at that point? You say in your statement, and I want to tell you this so that I'm not tricking you, right? You say in your statement that they were present when the counting, you all did the counting. Am I correct in that reflection?
You know, when I say they were present, remember, Commissioner, it can't be 4 or 5 people that's counting at the same time.
Mm.
Yes, they were present. They were present enough to know when we inspected those bags, more or less how many was inside each bag. They didn't
What does
wait.
that mean? Just explain what you mean when you say they were present when we inspected those bags. What is that inspection that they were present for?
When we did offload those bags from their marked vehicle, Commissioner, we placed all of those bags on the ground.
Mm.
Those bags were open. I'm not sure who was the first one that took out the bricks, but the bricks were offloaded and was laid there in piles. So I'm not sure how many bags were offloaded in their presence. It could have been all the bags that were offloaded in their presence. But maybe, I'm jumping ahead of myself. All of these bags were offloaded and the bricks were kept on the side of them.
So the bags offloaded, you include that the bricks were taken out of the bags?
That's correct.
And you say the ORS were still there?
They were there when we unpacked and counted 20, majority was 20.
Mm.
There was one bag, the 27th bag, that had 21. But the ORS guys, remember, Commissioner, they also need to make a report of how many we seized. So I see they did leave a little prematurely. But they knew the count of the bags, that it had 20 and one had 21. Maybe they didn't do the maths, but they knew there were 27 bags, and when we offloaded them, the 27th one had 21 bricks, all the rest had 20. That I can say with confidence. Maybe they were not there when we did the tally. By that time, they said they had to leave and conduct their other duties. But they were there when the bags were offloaded and the bricks were counted. Enough to say that there was 20 in each one, except for the 27th bag that had 21. I can say that with confidence.
You see, I think his warrant officer, Govender, says, we arrived, we took the bags off the vehicle, and we left to go and do our job. So he doesn't say the same thing that you say.
I've got his statement, Commissioner.
Yes.
If you can look at the inquiry, I'm not sure where it would be, but my...
I'm going to try and help you find it because I also flagged it.
Whose statement are we looking for?
Looking for Governor.
Yes, if you look at file number 2, and under tab,
At 779, or what's it, 7?
are you at 779?
Because, Commissioner, I just want to point out, this is not the statement I'm alluding to. I'm alluding to the statement that is filed in the inquiry and signed by Sergeant Governor.
Well, I'm looking at page 601, which is Governor, and it has his signature. It's on the 22nd of June, 2022. That's the one that I have read. If you've got another one that says what you're saying, then we can go there. In the last paragraph, it says, Colonel Jacob informed us that the exhibit must be transported to Isipingo SAPS. We then transported the 27 black bags.
I don't think the Colonel
he's not there yet. I'm so sorry.
has your attention.
Okay, Commissioner, I just want to point out, this is not the statement filed in my inquiry. Right?
Sorry,
this
say that
statement is
again.
obtained by somebody else. It's obtained by the team that were investigating the theft of these drugs. So
Yeah, but what's the significance of that?
the content is different. The content is different. Because I did read this with some concern. But the content is different. If you look at the evidence
Perhaps wait for Commissioner Baloyi's point.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
I think I know where she's headed, but you may go.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
You can refer to another statement if you want to, but
Not
this is,
another,
you know,
statement that I
this is the
obtained.
statement that I'm referring to where he says, we offloaded them at the parking area and we left and drove back to continue with our duties. So on this statement at least, they didn't stay beyond taking your bags off their vehicle and then they left. You make them more present than what he's describing here. You say the bags were offloaded, we opened them and we took the bricks out and we were lining them up and they were still there.
Commissioner, once again, if you see who took the statement, when I started off leading my evidence and reading my statement, it's obtained by the team investigating this theft of drugs. To me, all of their statements are questionable. I think even if we call Sergeant Governor and show him the statement that I obtained from him, if he says otherwise, then I'll say, Commissioner, you have a point here. These statements, when they were taken from these individuals, I can't say specifically for Governor, but what I've noticed a trend that all of these statements seem to follow a certain pattern where it's pointing fingers at certain individuals. I've got a statement filed in the docket that the same team investigating the theft of drugs from Port Shepstone are very familiar with. They've seen it. They have it. So you go take another statement that's contradicting what this individual said to me. And maybe for the record, we can read his statement out and compare it. But I'm not sure why I didn't have him under duress. I don't make him present when I'm opening